A 22-year-old woman was killed at a surprise party held for her by the security guards, where she is raped and tortured to death. Let me tell you the whole story. Janet Schuller, a 22-year-old woman, was found deceased on Feb 1, 1979. A snowball driver found her nude body buried in the snow near a wooden area. She was completely buried in the snow except for her arm. Janet had her whole body duct taped, suggesting that she had been gagged and blindfolded. At the time of her murder, Janet had been living in Ottawa County. Especially, she was living in the city of Holland, which at the time was undergoing some turmoil. A company called Cametron had a paint plant in Holland, but the worker had gone on strike and the situation was getting ugly. Cametron had hired a security company called Wackenhut to provide additional security during the strike. Wackenhut brought in security personnel from throughout the country to guard the Cametron plant during the strike. Most of this personnel ended up being housed at the Blue Mill Inn, where Janet Chandler worked as a night clerk. Around 80 security guards from the Wackenhut were living at the Blue Mill Inn at the time that Janet was working there. Janet herself lived in an apartment with Laurie Shunk. Her boss was the Blue Mill Inn. Janet considered Laurie to be her best friend. The Wackenhut guards were not as rough guys that liked to party, and it was common for motel staff to hook up with them. Both Janet Chandler and Laurie Shunk indulged in numerous affairs with various girls. In fact, once had two briefed for having sex in motel room at the Blue Mill Inn. She was meant to be explicit. Janet was studying music in Hope College, a private Christian liberal arts school in Holland, Michigan. Janet came from a conservative Christian family and she was devoutly religious before moving into her own apartment. She had lived a very simple life. For example, her parents would not let her sleep over at any friend's house if the parents were even drank alcohol. Her teachers at Hope College described her as an emotionally sensitive person who would often burst into tears if she was criticized. Janet seemed too sheltered for her own good. Janet mostly inherited her parents' religious beliefs, and her journals are filled with messages of a religious nature. For example, the last journal entry before her death contained the question, "When was Paul saved?"